Jumping level solar cells were this was the coolest thing in the world. So by the time I started my PhD, perovskites had started picking up a lot more traction. So my advisor, Elsa Ramones, she was starting up perovskite initiatives, but Georgia Tech hadn't really hired a professor to do it like completely. So there was a lot of professors trying to get into it until Juan Pablo, which is he's one of like the leading researchers in America when it comes to perovskites. He joined the faculty at Georgia Tech, and I worked with him to study to see if we can like improve the durability of perovskites. They are pretty sensitive to everything, pretty much air, water, heat, sun. But so my goal was to develop a small molecule and like study how they could potentially improve the overall solar cell using NMR. So I used solid state NMR, which is basically I took a powder and did this study, and also just seeing if we can increase the overall lifetime of said perovskite solar cell, and it did work. So that was cool. And like you mentioned, I got a chance to do research and in Australia, and that was so cool. I love Australia, and I learned how to do like some air stable fabrication techniques using drop cast method, which is something that I think people are starting to do more of now since we're trying to commercialize perovskite. But I did this 4 years ago in 2019, and yeah, and then well, that's 5 years ago now. And then I have a picture of some kangaroos. So while I was there, I got a chance to see some wild kangaroos, and they're not as aggressive people say, but they can be pretty protective. So yeah, that was a fun experience. I love Australia. If I could move there and live there, I would. It's a nice place. Okay, so that brings me to like how I define myself, right? So I had this before I graduated. I had this thing. Okay, I'm an organic chemist or materials chemist. So organic chemist, pretty much making things. So making things, pretty much making new techniques or making new chemicals or trying to look at computational. And I wanted to be a materials chemist, and I did a lot of materials. So that's pretty much making something with a purpose. So engineering something to benefit something directly. So I found myself like pretty much in the middle. But then at the end, I found myself trying to do a sprinkle of biochemistry. So I have a sprinkle of biochemistry and biotechnology in my PhD too. At the end, I started to work with proteins and stuff. But my first love is solar, and that is why I ended up in the solar energy technology office at Department of Energy. So I applied for this right after my PhD, and I'm a fellow, so I'm doing my postdoc there. And I'm trying to see if this is something I want to do. I've considered public and government work, but I had to figure out if I wanted to do it long term or not. So this was pretty much why I joined the office. So far, I've learned so much about government, how it works, and how we try to, do the goals set out by Congress and the president, pretty much. So that brings me to SETO. So within the Department of Energy, there are several offices. So where does SETO fit? So you have the Department of Energy as a whole, and then you have a branch. So that's the office of the Secretary of Energy. So we're under that, and then you'll see that we have the office where SETO fits in, which is the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. And under that office, we have a Deputy Assistant, so Secretary of Renewable Power. And we sit within this umbrella. So this is where SETO sits in the Office of EERE, or Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. Within ERE, there is a lot of renewable energy technologies, right? So we have the renewable power side. We have solar, which is one of the largest, renewable energy sources that people discuss. We have geothermal, which is also wonderful. We have wind, and we also have water. And within the energy efficiency side, we have advanced manufacturing, right? So that's making manufacturing processes more sustainable, whether that be recycling or using more sustainable starting materials, so looking at critical materials that we don't have anymore, or even workforce. That hits that. And we also have the buildings office, which focuses on optimizing and making buildings more energy efficient, whether that is looking at how we can incorporate solar or other technologies into like improving the overall energy efficiency of buildings, to other things. And we also have the Industrial Decarbonization Office, which is kind of working in tandem with advanced manufacturing, but looking at how to overall decarbonize industry, which is a major contributor to CO2, right? So we also have sustainable transportation, or we have our hydro and fuel cells, which focus on a lot of battery and hydro storage type of things. And we also have bioenergy, which just focuses on using bio-based materials for energy. So this could be sustainable aviation fuels from carbohydrates, which is bio-based, or this could be looking at enzymes to create a new catalyst and processing for materials. We also have the vehicles office, which focuses on decarbonizing the transportation sector using with vehicles. So this could be EVs, or even incorporating new charging stations and in a more sustainable way. So this is pretty much the ERE. And as you can see, we have a plethora of technologies. It's pretty interesting to get a glimpse of everything. But I'm in solar, so sad. But I have an interest in pretty much all of these offices for sure. So what is SETO? So SETO, or the Solar Energy Technologies Office, we basically have a mission of, we want to accelerate the advancement and the deployment of solar technology in the support of an equitable transition to a decarbonized economy no later than 2050, starting with a decarbonized power sector by 2035. And this was set by global leaders a few years ago, and President Biden has pretty much heavily emphasized this initiative within our Department of Energy, and we, SETO, have been working diligently on trying to complete these goals. So how did we do that? What did we do? So we pretty much drive innovation in technology and solve cost reduction to make solar affordable and accessible for all Americans. And we enable solar to support the reliability, resilience, and security of the grid. We support job growth, manufacturing, and the circular economy in a wide range of applications and activities. That's pretty much what the office does, and as a whole. We can break it down even further, right? So what type of research interests or areas do we have within our office? So we look at photovoltaics, so this can be perovskites, tandems, silicon, SIGs, cattail or gallium telluride, and we also look at concentrating solar thermal power, so CSP, which is basically concentrates all of the solar thermal power using these mirrors that are placed in very solar rich areas that are pretty much deserts. And we also look at balance of systems or soft cost reduction, so this is siting, permitting, and anything that relates to deploying solar, whether it be microgrids or residential/community solar. We also look at system integrations as we move towards more sustainable energy sources. We see that the grid needs, a way to incorporate all of these sources of new energy and not overwhelm the grid. So we work on a lot of system integrations to try to make that more reliant, reliable, and resilient. And lastly, we have the manufacturing and competitiveness team, and this is where I sit. And this is pretty much getting things from tech to market. So overall, trying to increase the commercialization of said solar technologies and innovations. So this is the group that I work with. So what is the manufacturing and competitiveness team? So pretty much this is where we try to increase the number of solar United States solar based companies and technologies. So you pretty much validate your idea. Then within our group and our funding opportunities, you can create a prototype, and then you can fabricate a first of its kind article and receive patents and work through our funding. Then you can also try to demonstrate a low volume manufacturing. And lastly, the end of the goal is to try to achieve market adoption and high value manufacturing. This is not completed all within our scope, but we try to give people the tools to do so. So that's the overall goal of our team. So more tech to market. So I'm working with pretty much all of the technologies that I've stated before. So PV technology, we also do some CSP technology and other things like that. But this is pretty much trying to um, stand up more U.S. based and owned companies that produce solar technologies. So what the pretty much the sectors or technologies we look at. So we look at PV supply chain and manufacturing, like I said. So this could be like manufacturing new or existing technologies, so silicon-based or perovskite-based technologies, and this can be like even like the supply chain, like the materials that we need to make said modules and panels. We also look at balance of systems, so this could be the racking and storage needed for solar deployment. We also look at installation automation, so this could be like funding projects that have robots installing PV modules in a field. So, which we do have a few of those where we're trying to invest in some projects where they have literally, well, not well, I guess they're kind of robots, or robots where they're like lifting up the panels and placing them and installing them in the racking system. So that's another sector that we also look at. We look at when it comes to emerging technology, so perovskites, which you probably are familiar with, and hybrid tandem. So this is like two types of active material when it comes to solar devices. So perovskites is typically paired with a silicon base cell. We also look at inverters and power electronics. So this is wide bandgap technology. So power electronics are pretty much the overall system in which the panel runs and is able to like store the energy and invert it or convert it till it can go into the grid. So this is silicon carbide or gallium nitride systems that can be used for the power electronics needed to create the way that the overall energy can be transferred and used. So we also do dual use. It's an emerging sector as well. So dual use is when you have something that can be utilized for two sectors in one. So we have built-in integrated technologies with photovoltaics. So this is BIPV, so built-in integrated photovoltaics. And this can be pretty much photovoltaics that can be attractive and incorporated into like buildings and like carports. So let's say you have a nice window or a roof that you can easily paint or put a thin film over. This will be more like BIPV. We also work with agro photovoltaics. So this is dual use where you have farming and herding or cattle grazing with PV. And we just released a prize on this. This was pretty cool. So basically having crops being able to be grown in the same place that you have solar arrays in the solar system. So you can actually incorporate gaining funds from your energy that you produce and can put back into the grid, and you can still have your income from your cattle grazing or your crops that you grow, which is pretty cool. And I'm working mostly with I was working with ag PV or APV, but now I'm working more closely with VIPV, which is vehicle integrated photovoltaic application. So this would be like a solar panel roof on like a Lexus or something, pretty much, which is, after our research, we don't know if that's possible, but this is pretty much trying to incorporate PV into the transportation sector and help decarbonize that. We know that EV technology is great. However, we can improve it by potentially adding photovoltaics because I don't know how many people like have a Tesla or stuff like that, but like charging infrastructure is still not the best here. So we can put more EVs on the road, but can we sustain them and charge them? That's another question. So incorporating PVs into this EV hybrid or just a regular vehicle could potentially increase the range in which a vehicle can drive, and overall just decarbonize the transportation sector. We're looking more at heavy duty, which don't really have a lot of EVs as of yet. So like 18 wheelers and refrigerated units that travel long range could potentially be decarbonized instead of using diesel with VIPV or photovoltaics for vehicles. We also look at floating photovoltaics, which is FPV, and this is pretty much having a full photovoltaic system and flotation system and it's like pretty much going into the grid. So this can be used to like incorporate um, solar with a, a body of water, so to speak. And this is an emerging technology, and it's really interesting. And within our portfolio, we have a few companies, mainly one company that's really getting a lot of traction um, and doing pretty well with this. So this is uh, the type of technology that we have. So basically, what do I do? What do we do on the team? So we take research and development. So let's say something that you could create in a lab and try to get it to market, right? So we try to do that. So we promote activities that amplify the impact of research and development projects and enable technologies and transformations from prototypes to real world and viable solutions. So like I said, research development to market relevant and self-sustainable technology. So how do we do that, right? So we plan. So when we're working with projects, we have a long process where we release a funding opportunity, and that could be for a prize, which is pretty much straight away you get the money, or a larger an award, which is our NOFOs now, which is our funding opportunity announcements, or FOAs, and those could be for upwards of millions of dollars. So we release those and we say, okay, this is the research we want to potentially fund. So let's say, okay, you have an application, you have this new idea to add solar to a car, right? And you have this technology, you have a panel, and you can easily incorporate into every vehicle. And so you would submit an application, and during the application process, evaluation process, we would like see if it fits into what we want to do. And so that's pretty much that. And then we select applications, and we negotiate the projects, and then we fund the projects, and over time we manage the project. So if you said you wanted to create this panel for all vehicles, you basically have to do that with the funding we give you over a span of X number of years, and we manage it by making sure that you're spending the money correctly and you're meeting all the goals that you put forth in your application. So that's the overarching theme of what this will look like, but I can just break it down a little bit more. So we plan, so we do tech to market, road mapping, we do IP strategy, so basically see what is out there, the latest state of the art and what is needed, and we do product market fit. So a lot of times we get things that don't really fit into what we want in the market. So let's say people have applications in for like wearable photovoltaics, like okay, a t-shirt that can absorb energy from the sun and like, I don't know, cool you. That is a cool thing, and I'm pretty sure it's a market for that, but that's not what the Department of Energy wants to fund, pretty much, right? So that's pretty much how we figure that out. And then like we have to figure out how this actual technology is commercializable, so path to scale, right? So how do we do that? We validate. So we have all these competitions, like I said, when we release funding opportunities and people put forth applications, we have a standardized way of reviewing applications for the funding opportunities. So we do a deep analysis of what the papers are, what the applications are, and like how they could actually benefit our portfolio, right? If they can't, we don't really accept them, but if they can, and we think it's a viable solution for the market, we fund those opportunities. And we also provide external feedback to people who submit applications. Let's say application wasn't the strongest, but we also try to provide feedback so you can come back with a stronger application next go around. So we also engage, right? We engage with a diverse set of stakeholders, whether this be people within the Department of Energy, outside of the Department of Energy, companies. I've engaged a lot of companies, like people from Volvo, General Motors, Amazon. Like, so we engage with a diverse group of stakeholders, and also engage with like, okay, professors, students, so the diverse group of stakeholders. And we also have a lot of partnerships. So we partner a lot with national labs because they're funded a lot through us. And we also try to look at our follow-on funding. So to see how we have impacted a company, we try to see if they can get external funding outside of us after we have helped them further progress their technology, right? And we do that, and then we also see if there is any customer discovery. So like, let's say we funded you and you have this idea, were you able to get people that actually wanted to purchase your innovation? So that's overall what we do and what I do. And I have a hand in everything when it comes to developing the strategy for what we want to fund, from looking at the applications and evaluating them, from selections, from interviews, from negotiations, to managing projects and awards. So I have a hand, and I've been a part of every part of that overall goal and strategy for our office. So how does that look? What does that look like? What have we done? So SETO has helped over 228 small businesses, and this looks like 307 awards since 2007. And this is over $361 million invested, and this has turned into $11 billion of follow-on funding, right? And this is a resulting of 29x investment multiplier. So basically, what we've realized is that some companies that we have funded have been able to go out and get more external funding to further progress the technology for it to be market available and available to customers. So this is really impactful, and we're actually, while I'm working to update these numbers, because it's in 2021, so we have a few more we want to look at now. So I'm working on looking at the impact analysis for newer companies to see how much we've further improved our follow-on funding. So this is pretty much the overall impact of what we do. Okay, now this is the fun stuff. Yay. So internships, fellowships, and job opportunities. So I want to just bring your attention to this one right here. So I'm a program lead for SMILE. And this is the Solely Manufacturing Internship for Leaders in Energy, right? And it's strictly for students who attend MSIs or minority serving institutions, right? So the application is due the 9th of December. And pretty much you have to be a full-time undergrad, and you have completed 1 year of undergrad coursework to be eligible. So basically, this program is, I love this program. So within our portfolio, manufacturing and competitiveness, we have companies. We work with a lot of companies. And we partner with companies within our portfolio to pair a student to work with the company over the summer. So this is a 10-week program, and you get to go work with a company doing, whether it be photovoltaics or, floating solar, anything, right? And we also have now been able to incorporate a trip to DC. So you'll be working with the company at their host site, and this could be in California, this could be in Boston, whatever company you get matched with, and then you'll be able to come to DC for a few days and talk to people with, like myself within the office, and meet some of my bosses and leaders and managers as well, and just get to tour the DOE, building, right? So that is wonderful. The applications, they're still open. You can always use QR code, and I'm going to leave my email, so if you have any questions about the application process or anything else, feel free to email me. So yeah, really want to bring this to your attention. Please submit your applications. Yes. Okay, so we also have the ORISE Science, Technology, and Policy Fellowship, which is what I apply for and what I am. So basically, it's a 1-year appointment to work within the office of SETO, and you pretty much do what I'm doing right now. And you can work with different groups. So you can work with the photovoltaic group, you can work with the soft cost group, or you can work with like CSP or concentrated solar power, thermal power group, and you pretty much do what I'm doing. Applications are due January 15th. You must be graduating, so you must be graduating by May 2025 to be eligible for this. And you can be an undergrad, of course. But if you have any questions about this, feel free to email me as well, because I'm also a part of recruitment and hiring process for this as well. And please feel free to visit the website, and I'm going to send these slides as PDF, so you can definitely click on them afterwards if you want to actually go to the websites. Okay, so that's that. We also have gym fellows that work in our office during the summer. So gym fellows, these are people who attend graduate school, so PhD or master's degree, and they get awarded this fellowship, and we have a partnership with them. So we've had 2 gym fellows in our office this summer. So if you're thinking about applying to master's program or PhD program, please apply to this gym fellowship program to get funding for your schooling, and also just being able to potentially partner with us. And if you have any questions about this, also feel free to reach out. I am outside of SETO. I am a admissions consultant, so I do help students with applying to grad school and stuff like that. So yeah. And we also have the Clean Energy Innovator Fellowship, which is a fellowship that funds recent graduates and energy professionals to work with critical energy organizations to advance clean energy solutions within the Department of Energy. This is Department of Energy wide, so it's within a lot of offices. And if you're interested in joining us, we hire from time to time, But I think the easiest way to get a feel for our office is to do those programs that I mentioned before. It's really where you're going to see, like, okay, do I want to work here? Do a SMILE program, come visit us, or do the ORISE fellowship and come work for a year, or do the Clean Innovator fellowship and come work for the Department of Energy for a year, or for 2 years. That one is 2 years. So so these are our teams. Like I said, we have the photovoltaics team, manufacturing competitiveness team, which is my team. We have the system integration team, concentrating thermal power, and we have the strategic analysis and institutional support team, which is soft costs, and we have the workforce and equitable access team. So those are the teams within SETO. So these are some funding opportunities that you could potentially be eligible for. So I am also program lead for the SETO's Energy Tech Up University competition. So basically you will pitch an innovative idea within the solar technologies, and you can have the chance to win lots of money. So it's like you have to do a business plan, so look at the market potential and create like a business plan for commercializing a technology. And then you get to go, if you make it, you get to do your pitch competition in person, and you get money, and it's really cool. And I will say that I led this you can apply for different offices, but so SETO has an partnership with them. So if you submit something that's solar related, I'm the person who's going to be like looking at your applications and judging them and helping you. So like this year, this was going on, and actually we had a few solar applications that made it to the final round. And I will say that I mentored 2 teams, and both of the teams that I mentored won. So I love this, and I'm actually good at helping the team. So if you really want to do this, I say sign up, and you'll definitely have a mentor in me. So that was really cool. That was like my first month or so that I did this, and I got to see my teams win. I was like, oh, yay. I feel like a proud mom. But yeah, this is cool. Sign up if you want to. Here's more information on that. Like I said, I'll be sending these slides, so you'll be able to click on the links and go to them when I send them. Deadline is January 13th, but they do have an info session that's coming up in December. So, yeah. We also have the Solar District Cup, which it's like a student-led team that, does stuff with like developing networks around campus to do solar technology type of projects and stuff like that. And the deadline is the 16th of December, and I'm not leading this, but if you're interested, I can definitely put you in contact with my colleague who is leading it. And if you want to learn more about SETO, funding opportunities, other opportunities such as some of these internships and stuff, please feel free to go to these links, and I'm sending a slide, so feel free. And this is my email down here, and my email again. And now questions. Stop sharing.
Thank you very much. Let's give us the
Thank you, Dr. Evans.
Hello, my name is Sarah Anthony. I am a junior here at Albany State University. I am also a double major in computer science with an emphasis in business and a supply chain logistics management major with a minor in mathematics. My question is about this SMILE internship. What can I do, put on my resume to be more competitive? What can I do right now, between now and when the application is due to just beef up and make myself more, what's the word? Available, yeah.
Oh, honestly, you have so many minors and majors. I think you're already good. So I wouldn't really focus on that. I was like, wait a minute, I lost track. So congratulations to you. You're smart. I can see. But basically, just know what you want to do. So like, look at the application, and we have this list of potential areas that you can work in. So look at those areas and say, okay, this is the area that I want to do, and just write it within like your application. Like I think you have a brief essay. Or just about like, okay, yeah, I really want to do this. So the more you like actually put that in there, we know like this person is serious because they actually did the research to figure out what type of area they want to work in. Okay, so I think that's pretty much the advice I can give you. But after hearing all your majors, I think you'll be fine. But yeah, so
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please, next one. Somebody have any questions? We have lots of the funding opportunity and the summer intern opportunity. You guys need some new interviews. Yes?
Any questions, y'all? I'm very open. So go ahead, ask anything.
Very amazing talk. You make everybody try to change their major and so learn it. Yes.
I do have a question that may benefit the students. Dr. Evans, since you have such a broad view of the field and the opportunities, what would you recommend that the students, so it's kind of a two-pronged question, right? What are the skills that you think they will need to be really competitive, let's say 2-3 years from now? And what areas of solar energy they can maybe focus on because it's going to become hot, let's say even hotter in 2-3 years? Do you have some, I know it's not an exact science, but is there certain things you can share that will help them be more competitive?
That's a good question. So I guess number one is to know yourself, right? I think that helps people be competitive. Because when you know yourself, you go into something more confidently and you have a better chance of getting that opportunity, right? So when you know yourself, you're confident about what you can do, you express that, and people are they're gonna gravitate towards that. So that's the first tip. And also just background, right? So if you're interested in something, look more into it, right? Because it's easy for people to say, I like this, but if I ask you why and you don't know why, that's a red flag. And a lot of times people ask you, oh, why are you interested? And you're like, and if you don't know why you're interested, it's not for you, right? So you have to know how to be able to sell yourself and show interest and know the field, right? And I know, hey, I'm a double minority, and it has been hard for me to get into this area and be able to come and talk to you all. But I knew myself, and I did all the research, and I figured everything out, and I went into everything knowing I know this stuff. This is why you need me, and know that you're valuable, right? So always highlight what you can bring to them, because everything is like a business. When people hire you, or people give you these internships, they're investing in you, and they want to see a return on their investment. So highlight how you can help them get their return back. I think people fail to realize that, oh, I need this job. That job needs you too. But tell them why they need you, right? Or this internship, they need you too. But they have to know why they need you. And that's how you can, make yourself more competitive. Know why you would be a benefit or an asset to anything, and express that in every way possible. That's a long answer, but yeah. Oh, and what field? Silicon. Get into silicon. Tandems. Get into tandems. That's the batteries. Get into batteries. Those are some emerging things that we don't really have here in America. Oh, supply chain. Get in supply chain. We don't even have a supply chain here. So if you get into those, you're going to be set. So supply chain, tandem, silicon, batteries, storage is a big thing. We don't really have that. System integrations, trying to figure out how to make the grid more reliable. That's a big challenge that we still don't know how to solve. So those are some really key things that we need, and it's outside of solar, right? Because everything we need to grid. Hydro needs to grid. Hydrogen needs to grid. Geothermal needs to grid. So everything we need to grid. We have those super computers, data centers that are going to complicate a lot of things. So yeah, pretty much everything we need. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a question for you. Can you share the slide with us, and then our students have the information about those opportunities?
Yes, I'm going to share. I'm going to convert them to a PDF and send them over. So y'all get the slides for sure. Any other questions? Y'all don't ask me, do I like what I do?
I have another one. I know you said you would share it, but what's your email address?
So it's evans.caria ee.doe.gov. And I can also share my personal email as well if you want to talk offline more and like just have me as a part of your network, feel free to add me on LinkedIn. I know a lot of you guys are silent, but I'm here for everyone, not just Miss every major in the world in the front. So feel free to add me on LinkedIn, Caria Evans. You can find me there. And like I said, I've mentored so many students. I think that's the most impactful thing that I've done in my life. I've mentored a lot of students. So a lot of you sitting there, I could be your mentor if you need one. I've helped so many students get into grad school, med school. Right now I'm helping so many students apply for grad school. So outside of the Department of Energy, my goal is to impact the youth, which is why I'm here today. So definitely feel free to lean on me, add me to your network, ask me as many questions as you need. I can provide you a network. If I don't know the answer, I know somebody who does. So definitely don't be shy. You know, I'm young. I'm not too old. So I don't have no TikTok, but I do have a LinkedIn. Okay. So yeah, feel free to add me on LinkedIn. If you don't have one, make one. This is the start of your professional career, so definitely make a LinkedIn and get started on creating your own network to be, in the field making money. Okay, and I don't want to be inspirational speaker, but yeah. Any other questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Y'all better be glad I know y'all name, because I would call on y'all if I did.
Yeah.
I can't recognize one.
You call somebody.
Yeah.
Put somebody on the spot.
His name is Elijah.
Yeah.
I recognize him.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he tried to apply the graduate school for the cleaners, right? Yes.
You have any questions, Elijah? Anybody or anybody else? Okay, I guess I did a great talk. No questions. Okay.
Okay. Thank them again. And then, you guys.
Dr. Lily?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If it's okay, I'd like to also make the announcement for the next seminar.
Sure. Go
just
ahead.
To see if they're interested.
Yes.
So, in about 2 weeks from today, on November 15th, we have another seminar during the same time, and maybe the same location, but Dr. Liddy will confirm.
Same location, yes.
So this is going to be very interesting. If you have the mind of somebody who would like to create something or look for ways to take advantage of, when you start to try to build a technology, sometimes you need equipment, sometimes you need resources, and it's not easy to come by. Maybe you don't have it at school, maybe you don't have it in the lab, maybe you don't have it at home, but what can you do about it, right? So this gentleman, his name is Rich Stromberg, and he's going to give a talk how to reuse equipment, or how reuse equipment, can support your research and create value for your community. Not just for research, but even, let's say you wanted to acquire some solar panels and take advantage of the technology, right? Free energy from the sun. How can you do it? Maybe you don't have the funds to buy a brand new system. Well, this guy is going to come up with some cool ideas of what you could do to get some of this technology at your house, or to get some of this technology in your lab. So you don't want to miss this talk. It's going to be very interesting. And there's another one before you go on the December break, and this is going to be from Dr. Stein. This is going to be December, I believe, the 6th. Let me check.
Yeah, December 6th.
December 6th. And this is Dr. Stein. He's overseeing basically the development of, I think Dr. Evans mentioned it, like perovskite technology. So it's a type of solar cell technology. And he's overseeing a program at the national labs that kind of developing that technology. So he's going to talk about that, but because it's also from the national labs, they also have a lot of programs where they hire students for internships. So he's going to talk about opportunities there too. And this is a great privilege because not a lot of people get to hear him talk. He's very busy, but he's making some time to come by and talk to you guys. So hopefully we'll be able to all be there together. So that's going to be December 6th. And so this is for this semester. In the spring, we're going to schedule more of these talks, and we'll let you know the speakers when that happens.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Huber. And we are looking forward to it for this semester, the next semester as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We have
Okay.
we have a question for you. Hold on.
How you doing? My name is Leila Dowdy, and as a biotechnology student, how can I combine biotechnology and energy efficiency together?
Okay. Oh, that's a great question. So I did biotechnology too. So and my project actually was to help create sustainable aviation fuels. So you can definitely do it. So biotechnology is very useful because right now when they're trying to make some of the biofuels and like biomass, I guess breakdown for that type of research, they use catalysts and they use like microorganisms, right? So it's definitely ways to incorporate biotechnology into energy and sustainability because I had a project where you can basically use bacteria to like produce some materials for sustainable fuels. So it's always a way to incorporate a little bit of everything into something sustainable. And if you want to talk about that more, I know I didn't really talk about that because I didn't really talk about my PhD like fully in detail. I want to talk more about the perovskite stuff, but you can definitely email me. Hey, find time. I can put it on my calendar to chat, like to everyone. If you want to email me, we can set up a call and just talk 1-on-1 and we can just talk about anything. I do that in my free time, and that's a part of my professional development is mentoring, right? So my boss is definitely okay with me chatting with people on the clock. So yeah, we can. I'll send you my email, and if you want to talk more about biotech and other offices, like so, bioenergy would be more like what you're looking for. Which I wanted to join bioenergy, but I did. I joined solar. But bioenergy, they're really cool. And fun fact, if you want to move to Canada, that's where the bioenergy is even more. So Canada's nice. So yeah, if you want to talk more about just other initiatives and like technologies within the whole Department of Energy, feel free to reach out. Like I said, if I don't have an answer, I have the network. I have everybody's email address that work at the Department of Energy, so I can send you somebody's email address, and they'll be willing to talk to you. We're always happy to talk to like people that are young, trying to get in clean energy or like sustainability or anything. So definitely feel free to reach out, and hopefully that the answer helpful. You can always incorporate biotechnology in modifying, organisms to do a lot of things. And I can have one more question if y'all getting more confident now. Y'all want to have one more question? I want to stay until one. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Another question?
Yeah.
My name is James Johnson. I'm a computer science student.
Okay.
I was thinking about I'm a freshman, so I ain't really learned that yet. So I wanted to ask what skills, if I was looking at solar energy as a career path, what skills should I pick up while I'm studying?
As a computer science, I would say AI. So data analytics and AI is something that we're trying to incorporate within the office, but we just don't really know how to. So like machine learning, AI, data analytics, those are some key things to get into if you want to get, not even in just solar, any field is looking into this. Like that's the way of the future. Figuring out how we can utilize some advanced machine learning algorithms to figure out, okay, this is the type of material we need for this solar device, right? So that is something that if I was in school, I would be trying to do that because you get to work from home for most of those jobs because it's all computer based. And I work from home, so that's okay. But so yeah, get into like anything machine learning, AI, data analytics, and like Google has like free certificates and certification programs within that area. So outside of doing your coursework, feel free to like start taking those courses and learn more. That'll definitely help you be more attractive and get an internship when you're ready. I know you're a freshman, but freshman year is where you have time to figure out what you want to do. So just take it slow and do like little classes here and there and see like, okay, I like AI, or okay, I like, data science. Like, so yeah, just take that time to do those type of courses on the side if you want to. And they're free from Google, so. And other people have those too. So, yeah.
Thank you. Anybody?
You're welcome.
Anybody have questions? No more questions? Thank you, the both of you. We are looking forward for the November